Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I know this is coming out a little bit later than usual, but I think it was worth it to try to put together a decent video on a game where literally everything happened. This game really became a goaltending duo between Jacob Markstrom and Jake Allen. It didn't disappoint in that regard. They were both outstanding in this game. So first period, we have no scoring, but Uri Slafkovsky, and by the way, in total in this game, had 15 minutes and 22 seconds played. That's one of the highest ice time totals we've seen for Slav all season. Slav looked really good on that power play, and you saw all the chances he was creating. He was shooting the puck a lot more. He listened to his mother, as we found out post-game.
Even my mother's texted me to shoot more, so I should really shoot more. Yeah.
How do you not love that kid? I love wearing his jersey, I gotta say, after saying we should take Shane right over him. But that's okay. So no scoring in the first period, but for the first time in a little while, the Montreal Canadiens power play actually looked a little dangerous, and a big reason for that was because Uri Slafkovsky was on that power play. Now we go to the second period where some stuff happened, as we know. You guys heard it in my last post game where Nick Suzuki laid a clean hit at center ice, and basically, to me, not the exact same hit, but if you're going to get mad at anybody on the Nazem Kadri hit, you should probably get mad at Arbor Jacki. Before we even actually get to the hit on Nazem Kadri, we probably should talk about the hit on Cole Caufield from Trevor Lewis, because as we saw, this was not necessarily intentional, I don't think, in terms of trying to be a dirty hit, but it was a pretty hard hit, and Cole Caufield had to leave the game. We haven't heard a ton so far, but Cole Caufield will likely be okay, at least from what we're hearing. It was more of a concussion protocol type of thing. At least that's what we've heard so far. But this hit from Lewis, I mean, it was relatively clean. I thought it just was a hard hit at the wrong time. One thing I did notice from Cole that was good, though, is that he got up pretty well right away and went to the bench. He was standing there. He probably didn't feel too good, but he got up pretty quickly. So that was definitely a good sign. Hopefully it's nothing more than precautionary and we see Cole back in the lineup as early as this week, but we'll certainly see. Just before we talk about the Nick Suzuki hit on Kadri, we'll talk about Jonathan Huberdeau, and he actually had the only regulation goal for the Calgary Flames in this game with a lot of friends and family in attendance, so I'm sure Hubie enjoyed that. He also had a pretty nice shootout goal. I'm not really going to get into that later. I'm going to save the shootout focus for our guys, but he had a nice goal in the shootout too. I'm just going to give him props for that. One other point I want to make on Huberdeau, though, is that, and this is just going to go to the Calgary Flames in general, but they are definitely not the same team. They are not nearly as dangerous without Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk. They're just not the same team. Lucic is out of the lineup tonight. Lindholm was out of the lineup. A lot of guys were out of the lineup, but the Calgary Flames simply just aren't as dangerous as they used to be. As far as Huberdeau goes, it's just the contract that worries me. That's a huge contract, and I think it could eventually be one of the worst contracts later on in his career. Still got a lot left in the tank, but I just have a feeling that contract is going to hurt them later on. I should mention it was a nice welcome home, sort of, for a short-lived period of time, but Tyler Toffoli getting an assist on Huberdeau's goal as well. They did a nice video tribute to Tyler Toffoli, Ravioli Toffoli, as my buddy Hockey Junkie likes to call him, but that was nice to see as well. I also want to give a shout-out to Jake Evans in this game because he got himself a nice promotion and ended up playing with Josh Anderson and Uri Slafkovsky in this game, and Jake looked very comfortable. He just looked like an NHL veteran in this game. But nonetheless, Josh Anderson has to jump up and play on the top line. But despite that as well, Uri Slafkovsky, he gets the beautiful assist over to Josh Anderson to tie this game for the Habs' only goal in regulation, and that was a nice assist from Slav. You got to like his board work there, just having confidence with the puck, getting it over to Anderson, who was getting cross-checked. He buries it, and you got to love it. Now, normally I don't get too excited about fights, but Michael Pezzetta, Connor Mackey, this was actually a pretty exciting tilt. It was a short one, but it was a fun one. Nobody got hurt. There were some good punches thrown either way. Connor Mackey got the first couple of shots in, but then Pez just came right on back. And Pez, I think, takes the W in that one, but that was a good fight. That was fun. It was a fun-spirited tilt. He gets the crowd going at the Bell Center, and that's just something, people, the commentators were saying if Lucic was in the lineup, they wouldn't have done that. Well, Lucic wasn't in the lineup, so shut up. Point being, though, it was entertaining. Nobody got hurt. It was fun. And you know what? Good for Pez because he works his freaking rear end off. They're showing his pregame rituals, which I think is pretty fun, by the way. Reminiscent of Mike Camilleri with the lightsaber on the bench from the 2010 playoff run. I want to point out defensively, too, that there were a handful of guys that stood out for the Habs that actually had a very good game, including Joel Edmondson, Jonathan Kovacevic, Jordan Harris. Caden Gooley had a mistake near the end where he tried to flip the puck out of the zone, and it was kept in, and fortunately it didn't turn into a goal. But either way, a lot of the Habs defensemen just looked very steady in this game. Even Chris Weidman would look decent to me in my mind. All right, so let's talk about this Nazem Kadri hit by Nick Suzuki. Now, we know the type of player Nick Suzuki is, but like I said earlier, if you're going to get mad at anybody on this play, and you need to watch, Arbor Jackeye actually pushes Kadri into Nick Suzuki's shoulder. Suzuki's just trying to turn and go the other way, and Kadri happens to run into him and basically just bounces right off the shoulder. So I don't know what you guys saw there. Maybe Flames fans could chime in if you happen to be watching, but to me, that's definitely not dirty. Kadri said that he wanted 5 minutes for that hit. I mean, just given the fact that it's Nazem Kadri and the suspension history and the hits that he's certainly laid, I'm thinking to myself, like, you might want to ask Santa for a 5-minute major on a play like that, because it wasn't going to happen last night. That being said, too, I don't know if Nick Suzuki's been listening to Let the Bodies Hit the Floor lately or something, but yeah, we also saw the shot on Tanev, which was a dangerous and scary moment. So no joking about Tanev there. But the fact that that shot hit him, it was very reminiscent of Josh George's, even in the same position on the ice, same side of the ice, where George's years ago took a puck to the head. And it was a scary play. And thankfully, hopefully, Tanev is going to be all right. And Nick Suzuki did say that he tried to reach out to Tanev to make sure that he was okay. You saw Daryl Sutter even on the bench, just kind of talking to the guys and saying, look what that guy just did for you guys in terms of blocking that shot. I mean, I thought this game could have went either way, to be honest with you. One last thing I'll say on the Nick Suzuki hit on Kadri is that in the post-game interview, Nick was asked about it, and he certainly said that they just kind of ran into each other. So there was no intent there, and not even the matter of intention, because we saw the hit earlier on Caufield where there was a bit more intent just to actually lay a good hit on him. But in this case with Suzuki, Jack Guy pushes him into him, it pushes Kadri into Nick, and I mean, like, there's nothing really there for me. I just don't see anything. So that's the end of that. All right, so we fast forward and it goes to overtime. The Habs have a 4-on-3, but even before we get to overtime, the Canadiens get a 5-on-3, and they still weren't able to capitalize on it. And you figured that there was a pretty decent chance that they were going to get a goal on that 5-on-3, because just look at the numbers, look at the space. But the Habs power play, as we know, not doing the greatest still. I still don't understand fully why Juraj Slafkovsky wasn't more a part of that 5-on-3 or even part of that power play in general, because if you guys saw in the overtime, I mean, everybody in the Bell Center was trying to tell Slav to shoot, and I just think they need to play him more on the power play, point blank, period. We get to overtime. The Habs actually get a 4-on-3. They still can't score, and that's why you felt like, geez, Calgary is probably going to hold on to win this one, because Jacob Markstrom's been just otherworldly in this game. Jake Allen also playing very good. Like I said, a very strong goaltending duo, but my gosh, I thought Jacob Markstrom was going to get this. And by that, I mean, I thought the Calgary Flames were going to try to get this win for Jacob Markstrom, and they certainly tried to. We go to the shootout, and as soon as Jonathan Huberdeau scored, I thought that this thing was over. I just had a bad feeling about it, but then you send Nick Suzuki down, and he does it again. I'm going to let you guys on a little secret. One of my favorite bands of all time, if not favorite band of all time, is Led Zeppelin. And one of my favorite songs by Led Zeppelin, how many more times? Seriously, how many more times are NHL goaltenders going to allow Nick Suzuki to do this? I thought we were in a little bit of trouble, maybe not having Cole Caufield in the shootout, but bless the Habs. Nick Suzuki does what he does, and then Kirby Dach comes down, and he makes a slick move. I've seen Kirby make that move before. I know we've seen Nick make that move before, but Kirby does it again, and the Habs get the W. Jake Allen makes the save on Nazem Kadri to close it out. He gives a little fist pump. Poetic. I love it. According to Sportsnet's Eric Engels, I guess Nick Suzuki and Kaprizov, how do you even say his name on the Minnesota Wild, by the way? They are the only NHL players in the league to be 4 for 4 in the shootout so far this season. Pretty amazing stat. Gotta love it. Nick Suzuki has the C on his shoulder. Every game that goes by, I just love it more and more. And the more the season goes on, the more I wear this Slafkovsky jersey, the more I love it more and more as well. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this show, please click like and subscribe. Please appreciate the support. I think I'm not even going to do another take on that one. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Go Habs, go. I know we want them to tank, but not gonna complain about wins, guys. I'm just not gonna do it. Thanks for watching.